The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, has vowed not to allow anyone take over the People's Democratic Party structure in Rivers State. The former Rivers State governor vowed to cause a political crisis in their state if any PDP governor tried interfering in the party's affair in the South states. Report says that the PDP governors who met in Taraba State on the 23rd of August weighed in on the crisis rocking the party in the state and reiterated their support for Governor Fubura. The PDP Governors Forum, in a communique read by its chairman and Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, called for a review of the party's Congress outcome to restore Fubura's leadership role in the state. Joining us to discuss this development is the former legal advisor of the People's Democratic Party, Barrister Jacob Mark. We want to say thank you very much for joining us today. All right, this has actually made the news for quite a while right now. What's your reaction, or what's the reaction of the PDP to this particular, for lack of a better word, threat by the former governor of the state and the minister of the FCT, Wike, that no PDP governor can hijack the party structure in Rivers State? Is he still a PDP member, an active PDP member as such?
Thank you very much for that question, because that is also on my mind. Whether indeed there is an Nyesom Wike in the PDP who has been absent from all the activities of the PDP from 2023. During the campaigns, he was nowhere to be found. During everything that took place, inauguration, then we saw him wearing a monkey jacket and dancing on your mandate we stand. And suddenly, he is conducting congresses in Rivers State for PDP. I have said it before, and I will say it again, that people are really in a deficit, a situation where integrity has lost its glory, where truth no longer has its place in their hearts, where decency has been thrown to the winds and to the dogs. You cannot be blowing hot and cold at the same time. If you want to dance on your mandate, we stand, please go, feel free and do so. But it is not decent. There is no integrity in what he's doing. And I laughed when I heard him threatening PDP governors. People who are sitting governors, people who got elected in their different states, you don't even have their kind of mandate. You are a mere appointee of the president of the country who can sack you without asking anybody. You can't compare yourself to people who got elected with millions of votes. Agreed, you may be their friend. You could have sponsored all of them. It is possible. But I say, without any iota of doubt, that a sitting governor is not one that any minister, no matter his position, any minister of the federal government can threaten. And I challenge him today to make good his threat. Let him go to Bauchi State and do something. He will be, for the first time, he will be shocked in his life. I know the kind of personality that is sitting down in the government house in Bauchi State. If Wike is serious, let him cross over to Bauchi. Bauchi is not far from Abuja. Let him take a ride. 2 hours, 3 hours, he's in Bauchi. Let him go and try something in Bauchi. He will meet the Kaura of the people of Bauchi. And I assure you, he will not repeat it again. But let's come back to reality. The PDP at the national level is in trouble because the situation where Wike, despite everything he has done, was the one making speeches and directing the Congress of Rivers State, is something that nobody ever imagined will happen. That there is a sitting governor on the ticket of the PDP in Rivers State, and that someone else is coming to conduct congresses in Rivers State other than the sitting governor, is an aberration. And people may have their reasons for doing what they are doing, but this is a big law, low law. It is a complete sham. It is total disregard to the tenets of the party, to the constitution of the party, because by his position as the governor, you cannot take him out of the equation. I don't know what they used. I don't know which arithmetic or which interpretation they did to hand over the materials for the congresses to someone who is not the governor of the state. Until you remove the governor or until the governor is not there, it is completely wrong and outrageous for you to have someone else come take his position and conduct congresses. It's unheard of. No state has ever done that, and it is a new development. But then, when things want to be corrected, maybe they rise to a certain high before people agree to correct themselves. The PDP national leadership certainly needs a rethink. I don't know what they want us to do. I don't know what they want Nigerians to see out of all this. It is an embarrassment. It is a complete sham. And there is no provision in the Constitution that allows that. And I challenge them to prove me wrong.
Well, thank you so much for that analysis so far, Barrister Mark. And you did say, without mincing words, that the PDP at the national level is in trouble. My question is that if
Yes.
Wike is allowed to go on with these actions, even though, of course, you dared him to go to Bauchi, besides that, if he actually carries out his actions, can you give us some insight on how this might impact the overall unity and cohesion of the PDP, especially in the run-up to the 2027 elections?
No, there will be certainly no need to talk about any 2027 if people are allowed to behave the way they are behaving. You cannot, in all decency and sincerity, threaten sitting governors that are not at all under you. You cannot. In fact, I am shocked that the NBC even allows such language to be used. There has been no warning, there has been no caution that somebody can sit down on live camera and say that he has capacity to unleash trouble, to unleash fire on states. And nobody is saying anything. Instead, he's been heralded, he's been applauded for being rascally. How on earth did we get here? If it was an Igboho or Kanu that said this kind of things, or even maybe our brother Asari Dokubo, if he's the one that had said this kind of thing, the security agencies will be running all over the place looking for them. But a sitting minister will go all out on live broadcast and threaten to unleash fire on states because of politics, and nothing has happened to him. That is the height of impunity. That is the height of rascality. And that is the apex anybody willing to be called a talk can go to. You don't speak that type of way. You don't. Nobody should have the liberty of speaking like that to the world. Not to his colleagues, not to his party members, not to his friends. You don't speak like that. If you are a Democrat, there are better ways of expressing yourself. But we have seen it in this country. People are beginning to do just anyhow, and nothing happens to them. And that is what worries me about the PDP, that as loyal or happy members of the party, we have individuals that look bigger than the party. We have individuals that look like they are the Belloturgis of the politics. They can say anything, they can threaten anybody, and nothing happens. May God help us.
Amen.
About Barrister Mark, some will say that after the tsunami that hit the PDP in 2015, that it was only the then governor, Wike, that probably stood up to be counted and actually saved the party from slipping into oblivion. And ever since then, he's actually installed party structures, most of the party structures, most of the chairmen in the parties, and most of the people that form the nucleus of the party to run the party were being chosen by him. Now, this probably might have emboldened him because while everyone probably pulled their hands from financing and running the party at their lowest ebb, the only man that stood up to be counted was Wike. And hence, they actually created this monster, and they do not know how to go about it.
Well, I come from a state, and with due respect to him, we didn't see him in my state after the 2015 elections. We have neighboring states, we didn't see him there. If he was dashing people money, that's his business. But we kept the PDP in my state without any finger from him being raised. And I challenge him to prove me wrong. Those of us from Kaduna that remain in the PDP remained not because of Wike. I know the same story applies to people in Benue, people in Plateau, people in Taraba. We have friends all over. Wike did not keep us in PDP, for God's sake. If he contributed or if he was financing people, that's his business. But should the world be all about money? Should everything we talk about be about capacity to share money? No, I don't think so. And if it has gotten to that, then Nigeria is in trouble. That our values have been desecrated. Our values have now been reduced into a small cup where if you have enough money, you can tell everybody to his eye to go to hell. The party has been enmeshed in enough trouble simply because of one person. The Board of Trustees have tried to mend fences with everybody and bring about reconciliation. The Governors Forum has followed suit. Everybody of good conscience has stretched his hand to contribute towards peace building. And Wike has looked at everybody and told them they are vampires. For God's sake, how can you alone be right? How can everybody else be wrong? Look at the cases in Rivers State. How can you be threatening a sitting governor? Yes, you might have contributed to making him governor. But even in his own words, I have the video where Wike said, look, from today, this man is in charge. He's the governor. If you don't know the powers of the governor, I will tell you from today, I am no more. And in fact, I'm under him. I will obey his instructions. What went wrong? What happened that suddenly you have threatened that you will show him who has power? You have threatened to bring him down. You have engaged and employed the services of people, matured men and women who were jumping and singing that they have left the PDP, suddenly went back and said they never resigned and that they are still in PDP. We have their videos where they sang and danced that they have left the PDP. I didn't know they were cowards who would turn around and run back and say they have not gone anywhere. Why didn't they continue in their rascality? People speak without integrity. People speak and do things as if nobody is watching them. People forget that even their children are watching them. And people are interpreting, is this my dad that said this? And is it my dad that is saying he didn't say so? The videos, the social media doesn't lie. And it doesn't go extinct. So today, people who have been camouflaging and saying things, it's a shame that they wake up and sing a different song. Nigeria is watching. And I say it again, that life does not revolve around money alone. Simply because you have money to throw around, that does not make you God. And that does not make you the only man standing. It's not true. The challenge the former governor has thrown to sitting governors, I want to see him make it happen. He has threatened to start with Bauchi. Fine. I know the color of Bauchi. I know what he has under his hands. Let Wike go to Bauchi and try to unleash the fire he has promised.
Who is that? All right, Barrister, thank you so much for outlining that. Now, I'm just wondering, what role do you think INEC and other relevant authorities should play in ensuring the integrity of the electoral process, specifically in Rivers State, considering all that we've discussed so far?
Well, INEC has done its part. With all the flaws, votes were accounted for. People won election and were sworn in based on the votes that were ascribed to their names. You may have a quarrel with the process, but that is the reality. At the end of it all, with the pronouncements from our courts, those people are validly elected, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. Now, if we're talking of looking at the electoral system holistically, not just Rivers State, I believe that the era for electronic voting has come. Because when there is electronic voting, one human being will not have the capacity to boast that he installed anyone. When every single vote counts and is accounted for, there will be no way anybody, no matter how rich, no matter how powerful, there is no way one person will boast that he installed anybody, because our votes need to count. And the only way we can do it is to remove the manual processes that have been enshrined in the Electoral Act. The day every single vote is counted the way our ATM cards are counted, that day will put an end to individual rascality, individual pomposity, and all the shenanigans we are seeing around the electoral process. Because yes, votes will count.
And on a final note, Barrister Mark, what long-term implications could this dispute have on the future of intra-party democracy within the PDP and the broader Nigerian political landscape?
Certainly and certainly, until individuals are brought to their position, to know that they do not take over the position of the people. A political party is supposed to belong to people, not an individual. And it's a shame that one man is being made to look like he owns a political party. It should never be heard of in this country of over 200 million people. We are too much for that. We have grown beyond that. Nigeria must grow beyond that. So the process that gives birth to leaders of the political party must be streamlined in such a way that not every comer becomes a leader of the party. Not everybody becomes secretary or chairman. Not everybody. Political jobbers should never have a place in the leadership of the party. The streamlining of the system, the correction of the errors that are found in the production of those who lead the political parties must be looked at. And I think everybody, including INEC, has something to do there. You don't just wake up like I saw yesterday, I think it's one of your flagship programs, where it was being said that virtually all the political parties have problems. And all this revolves around individual ambition and individual efforts, where individuals think they are bigger than the whole. And that should not be allowed.
All right, I want to say very many thanks to you, Barrister Jacob Mark, for your time here on Newsday.